Hello people! Today I'm going to be doing a set of what I'm calling flower power nails. They kind of are more summery than spring like I was going for, but we got what is what it is. Okay, starting off with a medium length coffin which has been prepped, and we're going to be using Beetles and Makartt polishes. Now pretty soon you're going to see a picture pop in at the top of there. That is the original set that I did when I was first learning how to do water marble and nail art in general. So this set is very loosely based recreation of those. So we're going in, we've done the pinky in the pink. We're going to do the index finger in the orange. And the rest of them will be the yellow. Now this part here, I'm kind of wishing that I had done this base color on these other ones in white instead of the yellow, because I think as later on all those yellow ones are going to get marbled, and I think that they would have looked better on the white base, because I think the colors, these colors, they kind of got a little muddy is what I'm trying to say with and over the yellow. So if I were to do this set again, I would definitely do those three in white. And we're going to give those a cure as soon as I'm finished here. And then the second coat only on the orange one, the index finger. The rest are going to be covered with stuff, so they don't need 2 coats. And then I will give that a cure. And then we're ready to start the marble. Sorry for the shaky camera, I bumped my head on it again. I'll start off with 2 lines of white. And as I said, I wish I had done them over a white base, but I didn't. Then we're going to go in with the other 3 colors. Somehow in this marble, the white lines just get completely lost. You can't see any white really, and you really got to look close, and then it's very faint. It's almost like it came out like a milky white that you can see through instead of staying nice and opaque. Anyway, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe if I had just left the yellow line out and just done the pink, white, and orange, maybe that would have been a better plan instead of adding more yellow to the situation. But they are what they are now. Whoopsie. That's me forgetting that I had not screwed the lid on tight on that one, and I nearly made a huge mess. And it's a good thing I've got gloves on, because that would have been a big breakout getting all over me like that. Now I will clean that mess up and carry on. We're going to use base coat as my blooming gel since I don't have any. And the base coat will help to disperse the marble around a little and soften it up a little bit. And then I had decided while I'm at it, I may as well do the other 2 and get them ready to go. And the other one. This particular set is sized as extra small, they seem really small after working with that last set, the last leopard set that I did, that they were like extra large size. Now these seem really tiny. Okay, we're ready to go. We'll get out my ombre brush, and I think I need to get a new one, because if you see the down the center of it. I seem to be missing some bristles in the center. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, we're just going to scoop across this whole line of colors, and then we're going to float them on there however you like. You can do a swirly line, you can put them on straight lines, however you want to put them on. You're just going to get it on there. You don't really want to brush it on because it'll muddy your colors up too much. And when you get too much on your brush and it starts to get kind of smushing together, getting a little muddy looking on there, and just clean your brush off, just wipe it off. So I'm just going to swoosh this around a little more until I'm happy with it. And then I will get a lint-free wipe and I will pull the excess off the sides. Now I did okay on this rack, but on the second rack I did not pull enough of it off the sides during this step right here, and I did get some wrinkling down the sides on the other ones. What I was able to fix, I did, but there were some spots. See, I'm caught under there even. There were some spots I was not able to fix, so I just ended up being the determining factor of where I was going to place my daisies as I was going along. Now, going back to that set, my original set that I did way back when that you saw, that set was done, as I said before, with water marble. That was my second attempt at a water marble, and the reason that there are daisies and dots on that set is because there were some places on there that I wasn't happy with how they came out, so that's why those got daisies on them. Now, not all of these are going to have the flowers placed where there was some kind of a problem, but you'll see when I'm doing like the little half flowers near the edge, that's usually because there was some wrinkling right there I was trying to cover up, and I'm caught again. And we'll get this last one done, and then I'll do the rest off camera. And we'll just keep playing around with this one until I'm happy. It needs more pink. And then I will try and soften that pink line up a skosh. Yeah, see, I think there's just too much yellow. I mean, they turned out cute, but not exactly what I was going for. And once I get this one blotted off, we will give these a cure. And now this part is where I forgot to hit record when I was doing my top coat. But I went in and did the no wipe tempered top coat on all the marbled ones. And I did a matte top on the orange one. And then on this pink one, we're going to put the top coat on, but before we cure, we're going to sugar this one. And this particular glitter, I believe, came from with the mermaid collection of Beetles stuff that I got last year. So this was my first opportunity to use it. And I should have laid a paper towel down like I normally do when I'm working with glitter, because I nearly knocked that tray over. And I do manage to slop glitter outside of there too. I have a real hard time trying to manipulate things with my fingers when I've got these stupid gloves on. Have I told you guys how much I hate wearing the gloves? Unfortunately, it's a necessity now. I have to do it, so. Once I get this enough glitter on here that I'm satisfied, I'm going to pat it down gently before I cure it, and I will give it a double cure, which is 2 minutes for me. I know a lot of these polishes probably cure in 30 seconds. I believe the Makartt does. Beetles might also, but I just cure everything for 60 seconds. Okay, now we're going to move on to the daisies. We're going to use the white polish and a dotting tool. And we're going to start off with that. Now this first one came out pretty good, but you'll notice some of my petals kind of get wonky on some of them because I seem to have a problem getting them spaced out evenly so that they come to the same center point. So like I said, this one didn't come out too bad, but some of them, which you'll see if you look at the finished set, you'll see some of the petals are kind of off at a wonky angle. And I thought putting this little center dot on there would help me get them going in the right direction. And on this one it did work, but on some of the others I still had an issue. Whoops, I nearly knocked my computer off the table. That would have been bad. Okay, but we're just going to take from the dot, we're just going to pull them into kind of a teardrop shape towards the center. And I had to speed through that one because I was out of camera for a lot of that first flower. I'm going to go in and do this little one, a smaller version at the bottom here. Now this is the only nail I think I'm going to show, do the flowers. And then I'll do the rest off camera. The ones that you'll see if you look at the finished set, there's a couple that have a little like half flower on the edges. Those are primarily there to cover up wrinkling. There were some places I couldn't fix the wrinkling, so I just covered it with the flowers. And you guys who are watching this are the only ones who'll ever know that. Anybody just looking at the pictures will not know that because you can't see it. Okay, once I'm happy with these flowers, then we're going to emboss them. And we're using clear acrylic powder, which once I get myself organized, we will see. Okay, and then you're just gently going to pour the acrylic over top of that wet polish and let it soak up all in there. Being careful not to bump the edge against the polish where it's wet, because I have done that and it is not a good thing. All you can do at that point is wipe it off and go again. We're just going to keep putting this on until you don't see any kind of shiny wet spots. Give it a second to soak in, give it a little more. Now I think that top one has got some more wet spots at the top petals. It's hard to tell on camera, but I think they were there. So we're going to give it a little more. Shake off the excess. And like I said, I think I'm going to do the rest of these off camera. I don't think I'll show any more. They will all get a double cure when I'm done with this. They'll get a double cure and then I'll brush off the excess powder with a soft brush, which I have apparently done. And now we're moving on to the crystals. Now, when I did this section, I hadn't zoomed in. I forgot to do the zoom in on my phone, on my camera. So part of this is going to be harder to see. And I'm just going to put those, using those pink crystals, and I'm just going to put one of those in the center of the flowers. At some point on here, I tried to zoom in while I was doing the edit with the video, and I had not done that before, so I'm not sure where that's going to kick in at, or if it's just not going to be on here at all, because that was a new thing for me. I kind of had to learn to do it on the fly. In case you're wondering why I've got scrunchies on my arms like that, it's been hot here again lately in the 80s, so I got tired of my hands getting real sweaty in my gloves and the sweat running down my arms and dripping off my elbow and my lap onto the floor. And since I put cornstarch on my hands before I put gloves on, when it drips off of stuff after it's mixed in the sweat, I know it's gross, but when it dries, it leaves white marks everywhere from the cornstarch. So I have all these little white splotches on my floor and on my clothes, and I hated it. So I was looking for a pair of like wristbands to put on, like you used to see people wear in the 80s, to catch the sweat, and I couldn't find any anywhere. So I decided to try the scrunchies. And now I'm moving on to this one where I'm going to do the crystal swoosh. Now I thought this was zoomed in, but apparently it didn't stay like I thought I had it. So I'm sorry, this is going to be way far away. But you guys have seen me do these on plenty of other videos. So basically I'm just making a swoosh out of the gem glue with the dotting tool. And I'm sorry this is not zoomed in. I don't know what happened. I had it zoomed in on my edit, but I don't know what happened to it. But once I get the swoosh on there, then we'll go ahead with the crystals. I'm going to start off with a couple of the bigger pink ones. These are more of a bright pink, not the real pale pastel pink. And then I'm going to also use some of these clear ones, where I will intersperse them in this middle part. And then we're going to start alternating down we go up and down. Now as I get closer to the ends of the nail, I will start to use crystals that are a little smaller, and they'll eventually taper off to the smallest ones I have. And I realized at that point that I need smaller clear ones. And luckily there was some stuck to the lid of that. Good old static cling pays off for once. And you can't totally tell what I'm doing since this is so far out, but as I said, you guys have seen me do these before in plenty of other videos. But I will just continue to alternate colors and going down in size as I get down to the ends. I will say at least I didn't get the top of my head in the video this time. Guess that's improvement. And it's totally in shot, it's just not zoomed in, so while you're getting the full shot, you still can't really see it. One of these days I'm going to get this whole thing dialed in and everything's going to come out properly. Now I'm fishing around for my caviar beads. I'm going with silver. Probably should have done gold being with these colors, but personally I like the silver ones better myself. But I could see, looking back now, that probably the gold ones would have been a better fit for this. I'm just dotting on some glue in places where there isn't any that's swooshed out of there from the crystals. And then I will start to apply the caviar beads in between each of the crystals and one at each end. Caviar beads did not want to cooperate with me this day either. This actually is the next day from when I started this set. Now they're stuck together. And this is where I discovered, hey, my nail broke. It's loose inside of my glove. So that was just something else to add to the nonsense that day. I don't know what it is with these polygel. I mean, I'm loving working with the polygel, but 2 to 3 weeks in, after I've done my nails, they just start snapping off. Not all of them, but there's always at least maybe 2 or 3 that just snap off like that for no apparent reason. It's like I wasn't doing anything rough with them. I wasn't putting a lot of pressure. They just randomly just break. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go back to acrylic or not yet. The polygel is just so much easier to work with for me. But anyway, I'm trying to separate those caviar beads because they were all stuck together in a clump. Now I got to find a nail that's actually attached so I can use it for this. I'm going to go ahead and carry on trying to get these on here. And they are escaping on me left and right. They're probably if I get down there on the floor and look, there's probably a whole ton of them down there. I was coming down to the end of this little wheel of those tiny ones. I'm trying to get the last of them out. I don't know if it was on this nail or the other one, which I'm not going to show me doing, but at some point I had to break out a new wheel of those. Another one lost. And we will just carry on with this time-consuming part of putting the caviar beads on. And we got one side done. I probably should have sped this section up more. I thought I did, but maybe not. Who knows? I've had so many issues trying to get this one done. It took me probably half an hour just to figure out how to get that picture-in-picture thing to show up earlier on when I was showing you that old set that I had done. Now my husband's talking about me using a different editing program to do my videos. Like, I don't want to do it. I've just finally got this one dialed in for the most part. I know I've said before I'm not that tech savvy of a person, so learning these new things like this is a real project for me. Yeah. I'm just breaking these up. I'm thinking I'm going to separate those out, take them out of the wheels, and just put the ones that I always use in a separate container. So I will have them easier to work with. There's been a few times where I've forgotten to close the wheel up when I've put them away, and then I go to get them out, and next thing you know, I've spilled them everywhere. What are you going to do? Now I'm just going to neaten these up, get everything shoved around where I want it. And once I'm happy, I will give that a cure. Now I'm going to give it a 90-second cure. I think that it doesn't need that long, but that's what I like to go with, just to be. I always tend to overcure, just to be on the safe side. But at least you get a little bit of a closer view of them right there. But they will get their cure. And then the last thing, I'm going to take my matte top and I'm going to go over these again, just to cover where the, oh, there was a hair. Of course, there's always got to be one. I'm going to butt this up next to the crystals there and cover up any glue sloppage that may or may not be there. Plus it just gives it an extra layer of stuff right around the edge that helps to hold the stuff on. See, I'm stuck under there again. And the final swipe. And there we are. It's been cured, and there are the set done. If you liked my video, please give me a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. And here's the finished shot. And there they are. I hope you liked it, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time.